Friends, greetings to all watching the video. I welcome you all to another episode of Convo with Apricus. Friends, our topic of discussion today is India-Central Asia relations. And to throw light on this topic, we have Dr. Jagmeet Bawa with us. Dr. Bawa is Associate Professor and Head Department of Political Science in Central University of Himachal Pradesh in Dhramashala, Himachal Pradesh, India. He has over 15 years of experience in teaching and research and many publications to his credit. His areas of specialization are Indian political system and India-Central Asia relations. He is also an honorary member of editorial board in Journal of People, Politics and Administration. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Convo with Apricus. We will start the discussion now. Sir, please enlighten the audience regarding the significance of India-Central Asia relations.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me this very important opportunity to be with you all of your audience. I'm really thankful to this platform, and you are providing a very good opportunity for the students of this area, for the students of the political science and the public administration. It's a very good platform. So coming to the point, the first question which you have asked me about the significance of India-Central Asia relations. See, we are living in a global village now. The world is, getting more and more closer, and nowadays it's not a time for any country that it can survive at its own. Every country needs the help of other countries in some or other way. So for India, or it may be India, it may be any country, bilateral relations are very important for everyone, whosoever it is. It may be a world power, or it may be any third world country. So for India also, we need good relations with our neighbors, not only neighbors, people who are living far away from us, with the West and with the Africa, all over the world. But as far as the Central Asia is concerned, it's really, something is very important for all of for a country, not only as a country, as a civilization. And we have Central Asia as a region where we have a cultural connectivity. We have a cultural continuity, rather, not the connectivity, rather I will say that it's a continuity with the region. When I'm saying the Central Asia, let me define what I mean by Central Asia. Nowadays, people are almost, there is a unanimous opinion about the definition of Central Asia. Earlier, there are few confusions. There are some people who used to call some region Eurasia, Greater Asia, so many things which they used to call. But when I'm talking about Central Asia, it means simply 5 countries. 5 countries which includes Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan. The 5 countries which were part of the Soviet Union, and the 5 countries which got their freedom from the Soviet Union in the 1991. So, as I said, we have a cultural continuity with the Central Asian region. We have so much to share about our relations with the Central Asia, not only in the modern times or medieval times, but from the ancient times. Even the mention of Central Asia is there in our Mahabharata, even in Ramayana. There are so many incidents in Ramayana when Bhagwan Ram was looking for Sita, when she was kidnapped by the Ravana. The Sugriv, he sent his messengers and his people to find out Sita, even to Central Asia, when he sent the people to the land of the Darts, which means now exactly it is located in Tajikistan. And even in Mahabharata, the entire Central Asia fought on the side of Kauravas against the Pandavas. Even when this Pandava king Yudhishthir, he had his Rajsuya jug. He had a water and earth from the Vakshu River, which is now called Oxid River in the Central Asia. We have our own ties with the Central Asia, and the ties which are beyond the political and diplomatic ties. Most of the villages we use in Central Asia, even in these days, there used to be a money lender or a small banker, which is called Bajaja. Bajaja is a person especially from Punjab area, the people who are the money lenders, and they have their roots in this land, in Punjab. Even the Brahmanas of God surname, they are used to be in good abundance and number there in the different villages of the Central Asia. And there are so many things we can mention about which proves our cultural connectivity to that area. But apart from it, we have strategic importance there in the Central Asia, because we have to on both the sides. Strategically, especially the Pakistan, and for the last few years after, in the last 4 to 5 years, we have developed a very high degree of enmity with China also, which is very aggressive for the last few years. And in the last 3 to 4 days, we had some news from the Pangong Lake also, where China is on the way to build up the second bridge. So, keeping in view the strategic importance, strategic situation which we are facing from China and Pakistan, the importance of Central Asia is of great importance, because it is the only area where we can check these countries from that side. Otherwise, we don't have any option to check those countries. See, for this reason only, we have developed our first out of India airbase in Aini airbase, which is based in Kazakhstan. India has only one airbase outside India, that is in Aini. So that is the reason we have importance of India Central Asia relations from the strategic point of view. And apart from it, nowadays energy is going to be the biggest issue for not only for India but for the entire world. I hope you all are aware about it. We are exporting a lot of uranium from the Central Asia. Up to 2020 only, we have imported more than 10,000 tons of uranium from Kazakhstan only. And for the next 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, we have already signed a pact with Kazakhstan for a huge amount of Kazakhstan, which is going to be imported to India, which we have already imported, and we are going to import up to 2024. We have a pact signed with Kazakhstan. So these are the reasons: cultural reasons, historical reasons, strategic reasons, and energy reasons. India Central Asia relations are of great importance.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, what are the challenges India is facing in maintaining ties with Central Asia?
See, there is, I will go into the history from the beginning of the Central Asian countries, right from 1991. In 1991, it was a time when these 5 nations got the independence. See, there is a very interesting fact about the independence is that all the 5 countries, which I have already mentioned, which we oftenly we call them Central Asian republics, all of them were not willing to be independent from the Soviet Union. They all wanted to be a part of the Soviet Union only. But it was the Soviet Union only which gave them the freedom. That they were not asking for the freedom, but even then they were granted the freedom. And there was a survey also in 1991 in all these 5 nations, where more than 90% of the Central Asian people, they have opted to be a part of Russia only or Soviet Union only. They were not of the opinion to be independent, but they got the independence. And the time they got the independence, most of the till date, rather not only in 1991, till date, they are mainly dependent on the Russia only for their economic purposes, for their economy. When they got the independence, they need a lot of money because it was a beginning of a nation. They need a huge amount of money, and they were looking at India in 1991. And look at the situation in India in those 1991 days. Indian economy was having the biggest ever crisis which Indian economy has faced. It was in 1991. I hope you remember. Yes. That this Chandrasekhar government, it has sent all the gold. You might be aware of that story also. At that time, India was not having that much of financial leverage, which Central Asian countries were looking at us. They were expecting some help from us, but we were not able to help them. This was the biggest problem since the beginning, because we have lost the opportunity right in the beginning, not only because of the financial crunches. The second thing, why we were not able to help Central Asian countries, why we were not able to bail out Central Asian countries when they were in need, is the multi-layered bureaucracy in India. The bureaucratic system, is so vicious here in our country that there were so many plans which we want to work out with Central Asia, but we were not able to do it because of the, bureaucratic system, very, very complex bureaucratic system. A small scheme which very small amount of money for the implementation needs months and years of time for the approval from the ministry and from here and from there. There were two main issues, bureaucratic inertia and this financial crunch, which were the hurdle in the initial days. And nowadays, the biggest problem with us is we don't have any direct connectivity to the Central Asia. In case you want to connect to Central Asia, you have few options, either through China or through Pakistan, or the last one through the Iran. China and Pakistan are not the best of the options for us, especially for India. That is why for the last few years, we were trying to approach Central Asia through Iran. But, again, we have started a, rail line there. We have invested a huge amount of money in the railway link through Jinjar that we were planning to develop to Central Asia. But ultimately, in the meantime, Iran went close to China, and China has created so many hurdles for all of our projects. And in the last 2 years, Iran has, dumped all of our schemes, and especially including this railway link, which we were trying to make for the last so many years. So the last hope which we were expecting to approach Central Asia through Iran, that is also, dicey now. It is fishy. I don't think we will be able to, approach Central Asia through Iran now in the present situation, because Iran is, very hostile. The position of Iran is totally different right now, because they are aligned with Pakistan and especially with China in the last few years. So this is another problem. The fourth one is that we have never seen, Central Asia from our own point of view. We have always seen Central Asia from a Russian lens. We have tried to, maintain our relations through Russia, or, the lens which we have used is always Russian. We have not adopted any other methodology to be close to them. And the last thing which I would like to, mention here, as a challenge for the India Central Asia relations is that in the last 30 years or so, we have tried so many things. We have tried a number of options in the Central Asia, but all of the options, to the cultural diplomacy only. We were trying to develop our relation through the culture only. We were sending our messengers of yoga, Hindi, Indian films and all that. And everything was just limited to the, cultural diplomacy only. And we have not tried anything else from this cultural aspect. So now it is a time when we need to explore the other avenues also to develop good relations with the Central Asia. So in the when Manmohan Singh has come up with a new policy, that is Connect Central Asia policy in 2012, and I'm thankful to the present government which have exactly implemented the Connect Central Asia policy of the last government. And for the last few years, we are now working on the Connect Central Asia policy, especially, during this COVID times also, when we had trained all the more than, I think, 3 countries staff, paramedical and medical staff of the Central Asian countries. We have provided them vaccine also during the COVID time. So now we are trying to go beyond the cultural diplomacy, which is going to be a right option also.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what are the various aspects of relationship between India and Central Asia?
See, as I have already mentioned, that the most important thing which we are the last few years is the cultural only. We were trying to maintain our relation on the basis of culture only. As I have already just said that we were trying through yoga, we were trying through Hindi, we were trying through films and so many things which we are. Even the education part was also there. Even in the Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi, we have set up a center also for Russian and Central Asian countries. And we have given grants to hundreds and thousands of Central Asian students to be here in India for their education. We have paid for their education. ICSSR has spent a huge amount of money. Apart from ICSSR, especially ICCR, Indian Council for Cultural Relations, that have spent a good amount of money with the Central Asian countries. But that is the one aspect. Now we are trying to develop the other avenues also, as I have already mentioned about the Aini Air Base, which we have developed in Tajikistan. Though it is not properly active till date because of the CSTO, Collective Security Treaty Organization, which Tajikistan has signed with Russia. And as per the provisions of CSTO, Russia is responsible for the security of the Tajikistan. And on the basis of this CSTO only, Russia is checking Indian interventions in the Tajikistan. Russia is, not allowing Tajikistan to give us a free hand in the strategic field in the Aini Airways. But we have developed one more hospital over there near Aini Airways only, which India is running. We are giving training to the IT officials here in India from the Tajikistan and other countries. We are trying to train their bureaucrats and even the security personnel. We have trained their paramedics and medics even during the COVID-19. They used to be almost for 3 months, we started a training program. Indian government has started a training program for the Central Asian republics, where we used to have online classes daily for this Central Asian countries. This is the one aspect. Now, right now, but still we are not on a very advanced stage. We are still trying to find out a way to be a part of the Central Asian Strategic Alliance, which we are not successful to a great extent. Yeah, we are successful to a great extent at the platform of energy, as I have already mentioned that we have imported good amount of uranium from the Kazakhstan, and now we are looking for not only this uranium but other natural resources from Central Asian republics. We are trying a lot, but as I have already mentioned that we have a shortcoming. We don't have a direct connectivity with the Central Asia. In case we are trying to import something from Central Asia, there are going to be so many hurdles. You cannot bring anything through Pakistan or China. The only option is the Iran, and that too is a bit hostile these days. Even bargaining with Iran these days is not that easy as we are thinking. So we are trying on many fronts. We are trying our level best. Still, things are not in a mature position.
Yes. So, what internal factors are important in the politics of Central Asia?
Yeah, that is a very good question. I just want you people to ask me this question, because we cannot study any country without knowing the local conditions of a country. What are the in every country there used to be some or other factors which are to be very important, which are guiding the local politics and each and everything. So even in Central Asia there are so many things which are important. See, before the independence, there were some Russian elites who were living over there. You may call them political elites, or they were the representatives, or they were the agents of the Russian Communist Party, which were active in those states. After the independence, before the independence even, they were having good amount of power. They were given a preference by the Russian authorities. But immediately after the independence, these elites, immediately they captured the power. These are the people who are running the entire show in all the 5 countries for the last 30 years. You cannot name a single country where these elites are not powerful. In case you want to understand the phenomena in Central Asia, you need to understand the working of these political elites. Apart from these political elites, there are a few, very informal institutions there in Central Asia. I will mention like clan, clans. Central Asia is a society which is based on the clans and families. All these people, even the constitution is not important for them. The clan and the head of the clan, the rules of the clans are more important for them. Most of the people are the tribal people. They give preference to their clan, to their family, and to the customs and traditions of the clans more than anything else. It may be the constitution, it may be the law of the land, whatever it is. These things are more important. And the third thing, which is really, khanates are also important, because we can khanate is a very big important aspect which we need to consider while understanding the Central Asian society. And the last thing which is really important in order to understand the in case you want to feel the pulse of the people of Central Asia, that is the regional divide also. In all the 5 countries, there is a regional divide. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are the big countries. And when you have a grand landscape, when you have a big amount of land, you are supposed to have the regional diversity. But not only in Uzbekistan, Pakistan, in a country like Kyrgyzstan, which is a smaller country, one of the smallest countries in the Central Asia. Even there also we used to have this regional diversity. The country is divided on the basis of the reasons, and one region tries to capture the power, and the other vice versa also. So regional divide, clans, and political elites, these are the three important things which we need to understand in case we want to understand the working of the Central Asian society.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Is there any scope of democracy in Central Asia?
Yeah, this is another very important question about the working of a political system in Central Asia. 5 countries, and in all the 5 countries, we don't have the democratic system. All the countries, all the 5 Central Asian countries, they have the autocratic, they have the totalitarian governments, and in none of the country we don't have the working democracy. There are efforts for democracy in Kyrgyzstan only. There is only one country where we can mention about the democratic system where people have tried to set up, but even in Kyrgyzstan we don't have a working democracy. We had a tulip revolution there in 2005 in Kyrgyzstan for the democratic government. Again we had one more revolution in 2010, then in 20 also. So many revolutions for democratic system, but every revolution which was there for the democracy brought the higher degree of totalitarianism. So in all the 5 countries we have a democratic system. Why? Because of the reason we don't, from all the surrounding, on the one side of Central Asia we have China, on the upper side we have Russia, here we have Afghanistan also. On all the sides of Central Asia we don't have the democratic countries. Apart from it, the legacy is they were under the Soviet rule for a very long time, and in Soviet Union we had a totalitarian system. We don't have any democratic system. So these neighbors also, they don't want this democratic system to be installed in these 5 countries. Why? Because of the reason, in case there is going to be any democratic experiment in these Central Asian republics, it may then this demand, this movement may lead to a demand of autonomy, demand of rights and freedom and democracy in China and in Russia or in some other countries. So these neighbors, they don't want these countries to be under the democratic system. And even this Western society, especially the Western society and the European Union, they have tried their level best to install democracy in this part of the world, because of the reason that this is the only part of the world where there is a Islamic majority, and even then they have a conducive environment for the democracy, because Central Asia is a region where, though we have a Islamic majority, but even then people are not very fanatic. They are not giving any way to this IS or any Islamic movement. People are very liberal. So that is why they all are trying, but even then we are not able to, the world is not able to develop any sort of democratic system in these 5 countries till date.
Yes, thank you, sir. So what are the reasons for Russia's dominant role in Central Asia?
Russia, till date, these 5 countries, they are mainly dependent on Russia for their economy. 2 countries, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, they are the poorest countries in the region. They both are badly dependent on Russia. all the people from all the 5 countries, 5 republics of Central Asia, they used to go to work in Russia, and they are getting good amount of remittance from there, and through that money only they are able to run their country. Till date, they are getting good amount of remittance. So economically, Central Asia is dependent on the Russia. And Russia has, worked very meticulously in the before the independence. They have not given any sort of autonomy, and they have not developed any area so that after the independence that they cannot claim any freedom from the Russia. For example, if they are making an engine of any car in Uzbekistan, then they have not developed any factory for the sell of the car in the same country. So they are trying to develop one country is producing only the engine, the other part was developing the cells, and which was united somewhere else. So, after the independence, there is one country which is making only the engine, the other country which was making only the shell. Likewise, they have, distributed the things in a manner that these regions will always be remain dependent on the Russia. That is what they have tried before the independence. That worked also. But nowadays, they are dependent not only economically, but for security also, because very good instrument for this Russia to handle Central Asian republics. These countries don't have that much of money to have their own and independent military system. So through CSTO, they are dependent on Russia. And third one is the, geographical proximity. Russia always considered Central Asia as their own backyard. There are few people who used to say that Russia has a pact with silent pact, unwritten pact, informal pact with China, that strategically I will dominate Central Asia and you can exploit the Central Asia economically. So there is a pact between China and this is oftenly said. Now we have seen some of the elements where we have seen some sort of rivalry between China and Russia in Central Asia. We have seen Chinese sending their troops to Tajikistan in order to fight this Talibani upsurge, which we had seen last year in Afghanistan. So this is another reason that why people of Central Asia, they are dependent on Russia. And over, the political system, even the political system is dependent on as I have already said, there are political elites which are dominating the society of the Central Asia. And all these political elites, they are close, they are pro-Russian. They had a very good ties with the Russian, power and people who are in power. So that's why till date, Russia is dominating all these 5 countries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You took time from your busy schedule, participated in the discussion, and explained the topic in such a lucid manner. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you so much.